Welcome to the Drunk Planet. Today we're looking at the Marvel Legends Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Peter B. Parker. One of my favourite iterations of Spider-Man. He is amazing in this film. Played by the guy from New Girl, can't remember his name, but that's a good show if you've never seen it. Very excited to crack into this. I love the Miles figure, and I'm happy to get all three of these people on the shelf. Very excited to open Gwen as well. So, without further ado, let's review.
Here we have the Marvel Legends Peter B. Parker box. Peter B. Parker is actually quite hard to say, quite fast. So, here we got the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse logo. I love the detail inside of the box here. On the side we have Peter himself. That's a really nice bit of artwork. I think that's slightly better than the Miles one. On the back we have some info about Peter. Peter Parker mentors Miles Morales, an all-new Spider-Man, to understand the importance of power and responsibility. Well, there's Peter's thing. He loves his power and responsibility. The bottom here, like every other figure, we have the other figures in the wave. Miles, Gwen, Peter, Prowler, Hand Ninja, and Marvel's Frogman. On the left, we have the Builder figure, which is Stiltman. I do not have the Builder figure piece, because I don't care for Stiltman. Okay, and here is Peter out of the packaging, and again, these Spider-Verse figures are knocking it out of the park. This is awesome. It's awesome. It's just, he's come alive off the screen in plastic form, which is my favorite form for anyone to take. So, yep, here he comes in his trench coat with his boots. This is his appearance sort of early on in the film, I believe. Although it has been a while since I've seen it. It's a absolutely amazing film, and again, I'm so happy to get these figures from the movie. Oh, they released a 2-pack when the film came out, which included Miles and Gwen, and I did buy that. I sold it since, so I can't actually do any comparisons, and it sucked. It was just repackaged versions of those figures. They weren't based on the movie at all, even though the packaging said they were. They came with the wrong head sculpt. God, they were terrible, terrible. So it's so nice to actually get these figures, and they've had a lot of time and attention put into them. Anyway, let's take a closer look at this guy. Here comes with an alternate head. This one here is his unmasked head, and in my opinion is the better of the two. I mean, the likeness is crazy. It looks like him from the film. I have no qualms with this whatsoever. I love that he even got the little hair flick coming down. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. However, again, like the Miles figure, the neck sort of points out like Shaggy and Scooby-Doo, which does hinder the articulation a little bit. Less so on this guy, just because this has a different head joint to Miles. This is more of a traditional head joint, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll get to the articulation later. So yeah, head, absolutely fantastic, absolutely fantastic. The torso design looks really cool. I love this trench coat. It's not too big, it's not too cumbersome. I love all the detail here, like all these little gold patches have been put in for the buttons on his jacket, and the zip has been painted this time, whereas on Miles it wasn't. So that's already a big improvement over Miles. Just the paintwork is slightly better. Could maybe do with a wash of some kind, but that's, again, this is Marvel Legends, so they don't like doing them. Inside has the age-old Spider-Man problem for the last, 3 years, where where Hasbro just don't like painting the webs on their suits. So it's all sculpted, but none of it is painted. There's no white on there, which I get it. It's hard painting. Painting is hard, but come on, guys. It makes it look cheap. I mean, I'm all for the sculpt. I love it being sculpted, but please take a black little bit of paint, color these in. That's all you need to do. But oh well. If you want to do it at home, for my Far From Home Marvel Legends Spider-Man figure, which also had the same problem where the webs weren't painted, I got a little marker pen, like a painter marker pen you can buy, and I went over it myself and colored them in, which I may do for this guy. But I mean, it doesn't look too bad. I think on that Far From Home figure, it definitely looked pretty crap. It made the figure look really cheap. That wasn't a very good figure, whereas this is a great figure, but it's just like little bits like that hold it back, that I know are purely budgetary. That's all. Like, the sculpt is here. The sculpt, that's the thing. It's always the sculpt is fine with Marvel Legends. It's the paint where it normally lets it down. So it does come across looking like a budget figure, but nonetheless, it still looks awesome. It still looks awesome. All right, let's work our way down. If we can get this guy to stand up. So for his legs, he's got a nice brown boot here and a trainer. So he's odd socks, and they're rolled up here as well. Weirdly, there's articulation at this bit, which is very unusual. Same here. Unfortunately, because of that, it does come out slightly. It does pop out, which means that his leg looks a bit odd at certain angles, and they bend very easily. But it's not the end of the world. It definitely looks great. It's accurate to how he looks in the film. For the overall aesthetic of this guy, it's very impressive, very accurate to the film. I think it just needs a lot more paint. That's my only issue. And if you're a customizer, which I wish I was, then I'm sure you could go in and fix some of these problems, like, you know, the sculpted webs here. And you could make this guy a million times better. In fact, import quality. Oh, and before I move on to the articulation, I just want to quickly mention pinless joints. That's a big thumbs up from Elliot. I love me some pinless joints. And this guy actually has them on the arms as well as the legs, which is excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. There have been a few figures recently, like the X-Men Origins Wolverine, like the Hugh Jackman version, where I think the arms were pinless, but the legs weren't. So it's nice for them now, Hasbro, implementing that on all their sculpts, which is good. Big, big, big thumbs up. All right, let's look at the articulation. So the head is on your average joint, so it can go back this far, which is pretty impressive, although the neck is angled this way, so it does mean he can't go all the way back, but he can look up very far. And I think for this guy, he has quite a big Adam's apple in the movie, so it kind of works that this sticks out like so. And he goes this far forward, so we can look at his toes, which is great. The arms come up this far, and they go all the way up as well. And there is a double hinge at the elbow, just very stiff. This guy is the joints are very stiff on this guy, unlike the other two. Yep. And regular joint here, up and down. There's an upper arm swivel as well, forgot to mention that. Same articulation applies to the other arm. The torso is quite hard to finagle. So there's a joint in the middle here on a ball joint, so you can get a lot of twisting out of that, and there's also a ball joint at the waist. I mean, you can get a lot of movement out of there, so you can get just so much movement out of this guy. He moves this far forward, and because the because the trench coat, he can't go that far backwards. That's more of his legs that are bending that. And one of the issues I have with this guy, with the trench coat, or the jacket, I don't know if it's really a trench coat, it doesn't go all the way down, but yeah, let's call it a jacket for now, is that it can be quite hard to get his torso lined up properly, just because you kind of have to stick your fingers behind the back to try and get it to go out like that. And also with this guy in the movie, he's kind of chubby. He's got like a beer belly, that's sort of his thing. And you can get it so that he has that, but it's quite hard to angle it so that it looks like it's sticking out, because this gets in the way, the jacket just gets in the way, and then you end up having it too straight, and you're like, oh. So it's a fiddly figure. There's just a lot of finagling going on here. That's a word, right? Finagling? Well, I'm going to use it. So for the legs, they come this far up. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And they have double jointed knees. And for the feet, they have a twist here, the ankle, which is unusual, as well as oh no, there is no twist of the boot. That is actually it. That's actually it there. They go this far back. You see, when I bend that, it bends here as well, which I don't like, and it's even worse on the other side. And it goes that far forward, not very far forward, unfortunately. Which, that's the thing with action figures, it doesn't make anatomical sense for their feet to bend really far forward, because that's not how we work in real life. But it really does help with posing. It really does help with posing. And there's a pivot. Nice pivot there. Yeah, and see on this other side, which is even worse, when you bend this down, I could just feel it, like the plastic bending. There's a lot of pressure put on this point here. I wish this had been, I don't know, jammed in a bit further, so it didn't have that problem. Although the foot can go a lot more further forward on his left foot compared to his right, which is good. Although there's already some paint scuffage going on there. Yeah. Okay, so that's the articulation for Peter. Let's take a quick look at his alternate hands and stuff. Zoom out. Peter comes with a ton of accessories, which is awesome. He comes with 2 alternate heads. So there's one with the mask slightly on, and then his unmasked head like we've already seen. 2 fisted hands, 2 whipping hands, and then 1 sort of open palm hand here, and then 1 hand to hold his drink, which is here as well. It just has some nice detail on it. It's just got these 2 rings around the top, blue and yellow, and a nice straw, which is cool. Again, this guy comes with these open palm hands here, but no wall crawling hands. I mean, at least this is something, but come on, wall crawling hands. Give them to us. I demand it. I'm going to start a petition, because I've got nothing better to do. Yeah, so with these accessories, because Peter has a lot of them, I'll quickly show you how to interchange them all. Yeah, so for his drink, it will fit in this open palm hand like this, and it just sort of sockets in like so. There's nothing really holding it in place, it just kind of just fits in there. So it can fall out if you knock it. But it's quite secure. It's not too loose, but I would, prefer something a bit more secure. But this is about as good as you can get. So he holds it like so. To interchange the hands, you just, like any Marvel Legends, pop out like so. Let's get these flipping hands, and they just stick in like that. For the head, it just pops off like that, and then you have this head with the mask on, which has got a bit of paint on it or something on his cheek there. And just, you can do it, pop pop, there we go. That goes on like that, and it's a decent looking head sculpt. I definitely prefer the hair on the other guy, and for some reason he's missing his 6 o'clock shadow. I don't know if that's in the film. I'm guessing he shaved at the film. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen it. And for some reason on mine, there's a little dot, like a little mark here. I think that's paint or something. Same on the nose. So yeah, there's a few paint imperfections on mine, although if ignoring them, it looks very cool. And I like the bagginess on the back of the mask. It looks it's a cool detail. I would have preferred, to be honest, just a head with the Spider-Man mask fully down, so he fits in with the rest of the gang, because the other 2, Gwen and Miles, both come with masked heads. So I think it's a shame that he doesn't. This is still cool, but would have preferred the other one. Oh well.
God, Peter, you just don't stand up. Okay, so one complaint off the back is that Peter is a bit of a nightmare to stand up. It seems like one leg is longer than the other. It's a bit bizarre. So I recommend getting a stand for him or something. And he comes in at around 6 3/4 inches. Yeah, just around there. He's quite a tall figure. Right, next up is some height comparisons. Here is Peter B. Parker next to the Star Wars Black Series Dagobah Luke Skywalker. Here is Peter next to the DC Multiverse McFarlane Flash. If I can get him to stand. He's not wanting to do it. It's not happening. Come on, buddy. I know you like to run, but you gotta stand still just this one time. This guy does not want to stand up. That's the best I'm gonna do. Here is Peter next to a Power Rangers Lightning Collection Putty Patroller. Here is Peter next to the SH Figuarts Super Mario. Here is Peter with the Marvel Legends Gambit. And here is Peter with the NECA God of War Kratos. Okay, that was the Marvel Legends Peter B. Parker. Another knockout figure from Hasbro. These Spider-Verse figures are absolutely fantastic. Again, they're only small gripes, the same I have with Miles. Give us some wall crawling hands, please. And for Peter, I would have appreciated a masked head instead of the alternate head we got. But these are small nitpicks. This is still an extremely good figure. Amazing value for money. And I'll give some kick-ass poses out of these guys. You can have a look at the pictures I did on here. And if you want, you can follow me on my Instagram, which has more pictures of my action figures, as well as featuring all the photography I do for these reviews. So the link will be in the description. But yes, absolutely love this figure. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. If you love the film, if you love the character, if you love action figures in general, just go ahead and get it. It's not that expensive. Wow, what a wave so far. 2 figures in, I'm already super impressed. Anyway guys, please remember to like and subscribe, and I will catch you soon.